Cha. Who are we, Cha? Greatest of all time.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Try These Picks. Feel free to add us on any socials above. And it is so exciting because we're going to dig into this in week 11. And it is time to try these picks. Are you ready for some football? Yeah. We have Damon on the call with us.
Let's go.
And they call him the Jamal Adams of sports betting. And why? Because, Damon, tell them why. You keep bringing pick after pick over here at TryThesePicks.com, my friend. Let's get into it. First, we have a few teams on the bye. Buffalo, Chicago, New York, and San Fran. Game 1, Philly versus Cleveland. We got, actually, Cleveland favored in this game. Can you believe that?
I'm definitely thinking Cleveland. I'm thinking Cleveland because they have two backs that could easily go for over 100 yards. And I don't mean like one or the other. I mean that they might get 100 yards each in the same game.
Yo, I have Kareem Hunt on my fantasy team. I had a feeling he was going to go off against the Eagles' atrocious defense, and he did. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the same thing happens this week against the Eagles, who do not have a strong run D. They gave up 133 per game on the ground, and that's 26th in the NFL. Cleveland, well, they don't pass the ball very well, but they love to do what, Damon? They love to run it up the middle.
They're using Baker Mayfield as pretty much like he's kind of trying to just control the game.
Yes.
And they're doing it with these backs. They're doing it with these power backs. So while most people have to worry that Baker Mayfield's going to throw the ball, he's not really that much of a threat. But if they can't stop the run, they can control the game. They can methodically just keep running. So if I was putting someone in a Draftkings, I would go Chubb.
Give me Chubb. He says Chubb is the league. He is leading the league running back average yards per carry at 6.1. Now, no, not Dalvin Cook, not King Henry, the Chubbinator.
Yes, I think that the plan for Cleveland is going to be feed Chubb. That is going to be the plan, and they're going to feed him. And I don't think they're going to be able to stop him. And it's not like he can get winded and they're like, then they have to pass. They have Hunt. Kareem Hunt is a monster. They have another monster back. They pretty much have two top starting running backs that would start on any team. And that's really their strategy. And when they're playing against a team that really doesn't stop the run well, that's going to cause a lot of trouble. That is going to be a major problem.
Major. So we got it in the books. For the first pick on Try This Picks, we got the Cleveland Browns. Now they are -2. So we got Cleveland Browns at -2. Let me give them a highlight here on the old really dilly. One sec here, get this highlight going. So we'll take that. Cleveland Browns at -2. Now, game two, we got another great matchup, the Falcons versus the Saints. Let's start with the Falcons. Now, Matt Ryan seems to be playing a little bit better. Not a huge fan. Better since the coaching change, of course. Now, I'm going to throw out these numbers. You'll hear me speak a little bit. These are FanDuel and Draftkings numbers. So this week, it looks like Matt Ryan's going for 63 and 78. These are his prices. We got Julio Jones at 75 and 81. But the real discussion is on the Saints. No, not Drew Brees. Taysom Hill, my friend.
Let's go. Look at Sha. Well, I'm thinking right now, obviously, we're thinking Saints are going to take the win on this one. Obviously. But, I mean, for those people looking, the running back on the Saints tomorrow, he's a pickup. Not if you're going Chubb already, but, he would be someone you might want to look at. Also, they're doing a lot of short passes. So, you might not want to take their receivers because their receivers, they're going to be too expensive. They're going to be too much, and you might not get your money's worth. If you go on the other side, I'm not saying Julio could go off, but if there was anything, if any possible thing they were looking to do, it would probably be something of that nature where you might want to take that investment with Julio.
Yes, not bad. And speaking of receivers or tight ends, Jared Cook is a great pickup as well. He's cheap as well on FanDuel and DraftKings, and Atlanta gives up the yards to tight end like no other, my friend. So this may be a sleeper pick this weekend over here at TryThesePicks, but I think we're all in on Saints. What do you got? Saints?
Oh, for sure. That's not even a question. We're not even having that conversation. I don't think anybody needs to ask us that answer.
We got Saints at the -7. That's the favorite this week. Okay. Game 3. Now, no, I know we're not talking Madden this week, but this is one of our favorite Madden teams because of the speed, of course. But we got the Bengals versus the Washington team. Now, we got Joe Mixon, we got Joe Higgins, we got Joe Burrows, we got a consortium of Joes over there. Higgins seems to be becoming Burrow's guy. He's the only piece, I want to be going after in this matchup. But be wary. The Washington defense is raw. It's first against the pass in the league right now and 6th in yards given up. I'm not touching the Bengals this week, but what do you got, Damon?
I'm not touching it either. I'm definitely not looking to put money into any of them. As far as if I was doing a lineup, if you want to pick a winner, I mean, I think Washington could take it. But like I said, I'm not putting money into any of the players.
Now this one I wasn't able to find the over under quite yet, but the one I saw had Washington obviously favored. Now we have what's his name? McKissick? McKissick has the most targets his way, more than any other player in the NFL. You can pick him up for around 5,200. I believe that's on DK. And with his 55% snaps taking in the backfield, also as a wideout sometimes. Let's go. I'm all in on Washington, bro.
I'm definitely in on Washington. But like I said, I'm not putting any of them in my lineup.
Yeah. Be wary. If we were to touch one, it may be McKissick.
I can see that. I can see that. He's been doing a lot of work from the slot. I can see him coming out the backfield. I can see it. But I mean, me personally, he won't be in my lineup.
Yeah,
but he could be inside.
Let's stay away from the Chasorcium of Joes. Okay, what do we got? Game 4. Detroit versus Carolina. Now, this is an interesting one. Stafford's dealing with a thumb issues. Bridgewater with a possible MCL issue. We don't know what's going on there. You don't know if PJ Walker versus Chase Daniels versus Stafford. Who knows? This could go any way. So I'll be honest. This game scares the chigiblets out of me. The one Lone Ranger I'm looking at sits the numbers here 64 and 69 DeAndre Smith, and Galladay may make a comeback, but I'm not looking. These players aren't looking too hefty this week. What do you think, Dave?
No, I wouldn't. Again, I'm not seeing anybody in my lineup that I want in this matchup either.
If we're gonna go for a pick, we have favored Carolina at -2.5. We going with Carolina over Detroit?
I'll take Carolina over Detroit. I wouldn't bet this one either. This is a close one to call. This is a game that can go either way. But if you had to pick one, I would go with that. I think that's also the Vegas odds. I think that's what the smart money might be doing. But this is definitely not one you want to slip into your parlay. This is one that could throw your bet right out. And not to mention, there's really no one I really want to put in my lineup. So I'm not too keen on this game.
Yeah, you never know when it's a cat fight. We got Lions versus Carolina. That cat fight could go either way, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, what do we got? What do we got next? Let's see. flying through them. This is amazing. Game 4, Pittsburgh at Jacksonville. The undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. Who would have thunk, my friend?
Look, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is it's unbelievable. And I think that's where you can put your money. Now, I don't know if you want to go Pittsburgh defense, but I just can't see. I can't see it not being number one. I can't see it giving up anything. I don't even see this as a game. I mean, obviously you're picking Pittsburgh to win. That's just obvious. They're still undefeated. But I mean, just for the defense, if you want the value, I think put the money on the defense, take the solid bet.
There you go. Now Ben Roethlisberger is sitting at a hefty 8K on FanDuel. Let's not touch Connor. He hasn't been putting in quite the work that I'd like to see this season. Juju Smith is sitting at a whopping low 64-65, and that might be another sleeper. A couple more prices we got out there on this game. DeAndre Johnson, 59 and 64. We got Claypool at 69 and 64. Who you picking, Damon?
You could, depending on how many lineups you're putting together, you could definitely put Claypool in a lineup. I definitely see it. But I wouldn't put the money with Ben. I think it's too much. The quarterbacks are very expensive right now. I'll get into later what quarterback I'm looking for, but I think quarterbacks are expensive this week.
Do we got Steelers to cover at -9.5?
I also think we have that. Yes, I think the Steelers take the win. I think they also get the points.
9 in the points. He's calling it Steelers. We got all favors so far, Dame. And these early matchups. And we did not mention we will be only going up to the afternoon games. So we just got the next few picks. So hang around. Again, thanks so much for joining us here at TryThesePicks.com. We hope to get you guys the best money, the best bang for your chabuck. Let's go, Damon. What do we got next? We have on lineup Game 5. Tennessee at Baltimore. Now, usually we'd be talking a lot of King Henry, right? Maybe a huge stiff arm this year, but he's not quite producing as much.
Yeah, he really, last year in the playoffs, you had to start thinking that he was just going to be unbelievable this year, because he really looked unbelievable. He looked like he was going to carry the team this year. But this year, he's not showing up that much. But, if you're looking at the Ravens, they're really not showing up. I mean, compared to what they were last year.
Exactly.
I mean, it really comes down to Lamar Jackson or bust.
There you go. I mean, Lamar Jackson or bust. You hit it.
I think they're putting too much on him. I think he's a young quarterback. I think that the defense is just not what it was. I think Campbell is a missing factor right now.
I was just gonna you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just gonna mention that. We can't forget to mention Campbell is beat up possibly on the defense, so that could be an advantage for Tennessee and Henry's running game. Do you agree?
Well, I totally agree. I was thinking in my head that one, I wasn't really liking the Ravens defense in the past few weeks. I just didn't feel that they were playing the Raven ball we were expecting. And then really with Campbell, who's probably one of the most important pieces in that with him being beat up, I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. And then it is such a task to stop Henry. Now, Henry might not be showing up, but you got to understand, he still is coming. You have to expect him to be coming the whole game. So they're going to have to deal with that. And then the defense isn't too shabby either. So I'm going Titans on this one for the win. And I don't know if you want to put the money into any of these players, but Henry could have a breakout game on
Henry. Yeah, again though, he's expensive, and you hit it earlier. It's Lamar or bust. Baltimore's sitting at 6-3, and it is not a confident 6-3 in my opinion. And so this one could sway either way. we're going try these picks. First upset of the day, and we're going Tennessee plus 6.5. They got that 6.5 easy. Now game 6, the team that's been on everybody's mouth, whether they're winning or losing, and I guess the debate is over. We know it was we know who the better one was of the combo, right? It's New England and Houston. Ever since Tom Brady has left New England, looks like Bill Belichick been struggling a little bit over there.
It looks that way, but I'm still a strong Bill Belichick lifelong fan. And I think, listen, this might be a growing year. And I think whether Tom was there or it wasn't, the outcome would be the same. As a matter of fact, it might have been worse. Who knows? I think if Tom was there, it would have been really, really bad because I think it would have held the team back. What they're doing now, yeah, they're losing. But at least I think the genius Belichick is going to move forward for future seasons. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this game.
Yes,
and in this game, what I'm thinking is, looking at how expensive quarterbacks are, I think Cam is a bargain.
Yes, and we're on the same. We're on the same wavelength, my friend. This is the one I'm hyped. This is where the Chamoney's at. The Texans, you can just run the ball down their throat all day long, and that's what the Patriots love to do right now.
But let's analyze this. The Patriots, that's what they're doing. They're running the ball, right? Now, yeah, they have some great backs, but look at this. They might even have Sony coming back. So you don't even know right now. Now, I'm not telling anybody to put any money on that because this guy might not play. But they're running the ball with their second and third string backs, and they're running it and loving it. So I'm saying if their best guy, if their starter comes back, that's even more of a threat. But let's go a little deeper into this. Who else runs the ball? Cam. You're not just running the ball. You're not just running the ball with the running backs. You're running the ball with the quarterback. And he's so cheap. Right now, when these quarterbacks are all so expensive, and, we talked about Ben, we talked about all these, it's just not worth it. They're just not worth it because you're not going to get your bang for your buck.
So speaking of cheap right here, we got Cam. Possibly, he's going to be cheap this week. He's sitting at 62 and 76, and when we say that, we're talking about the Draftkings and Fanduel numbers. And speaking of running backs, you were talking about Harris a second for there, and Harris has hit his third 100-yard game. Yes, he doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, but he's cheap as hell, 57 and 58 right now. And let's hope, like you were saying, let's hope Cam gets some of those runs and maybe even scores a touchdown. It's expensive for QBs this week, so Cammy is going to be your sleeper QB pick of the week. I tried this pick.
Be careful with Harris, because if Sony comes back, you will be kicking yourself if they don't feed the ball to Harris. That might be your last minute, right before the game guy you put in, because yes, they can't stop the run. And of course, yes, the Patriots are going to run the ball, but be careful that you don't pick a second or third string back. Careful. That's how a lot of people lose their shirt, thinking they have the pick, and then they don't.
Yeah, but at the same time too, that's how a lot of people buy a million shirts off of one pick, bro.
I do love it, yes. I mean, listen, it's definitely, I'm going to say this, for most of you guys, we all know you don't make one lineup. You make multiple lineups. I definitely think you have to have a few lineups with Harris in there, because he has the, I'm saying if he starts, he's going for well over 100 yards.
Easy. So, go ahead.
So you're getting your bang. You're getting your bang right there. You're actually getting him at a discounted rate because there's the chance that he's not playing. Now, at the same time, you want to have some lineups that he's not in. You don't want to make him in every lineup, because what if he doesn't play, or what if he just plays a few downs? So you can. That's why he's priced where he's priced. These guys are geniuses. They know how to make these lineups.
Genius. That's just something about that algorithm that they don't know, huh?
But going back to this quarterback thing, think about the scenario. Cam, he's going to do a little work. They're going to commit everything to stop the run. They have no clue how to do it. It's like they never played football in their life. But they're going to overcommit. So Cam will have a shot to move that ball a little bit. But here's the thing. If Cam gets close to that end zone, we've seen him run it in himself. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cam he could just go off. Or at least definitely give you your value.
Give you the value.
So he would be best if he's going quarterback.
So he's TryThesePicks QB sleeper pick of the week. And it's sounding like we're on that same wavelength there, Damon. We got New England at plus 2.5. For some reason, Texans are favored this week. So
I'm going New England.
We're going New England.
I'm going New England. Listen, I'm biased. You might not. This is one of the times, I kind of like Bill. So I don't know, man.
Bill's coming through for us this week, and that's where the money's at. That is the Try This Pick game of the week.
I'm just asking you this: when Bill goes to sleep tonight, you think he's planning on being in the Super Bowl?
Nobody likes to lose, Damon. Nobody likes to lose.
I think that guy right now is telling his wife, I won't be able to go on vacation because, I got that big Super Bowl game. So while you guys are counting them out, I wouldn't count them too far out. Because if he knows if he loses this game, then he's really done. This is a turning point game right now.
It really is.
It's over.
It really is.
It's over. At this point, he might as well just take the season.
He might as well be still coaching the Cleveland Browns. All right, game 7. I got.
Send them back to the Jets.
Oh my God! I got game 7. Miami at Denver. Can Matua win another? Looking like a young Dan. Is he looking like a young Dan Marino? This is one of those weeks.
He's not a young Dan. He's just managing the game.
He's a young future.
He has a bright future, but right now he's pretty much just barely managing the game. I call him a game manager. He's not a playmaker, but he's young, so let's not take away his future.
I got Tua sitting at 58 and 67. Not starting him. We have Talvin Ahmad and one of your favorite former running backs, Matt Breida, formerly on San Francisco, but he's now with Miami. He'll be sitting in the backfield. Talvin Ahmed, we got him at 48 and 5,600. And Devontae Parker, with the quickness, sitting at 57 and 62. I'm all in on Dolphins this week. How about you?
I'm in on Dolphins, but
I'm staying away from Denver.
Don't we still have Grant over there?
What's that?
I don't we still have Grant over there? I think that might be the sleeper.
I
don't know. I think he could possibly run a kickback.
Kickback? Are you calling it? I'll try these picks a kickback?
I mean, I'm just saying if you got a little extra money in a couple of lineups, he has been targeted. They've been targeting him. I mean, look, he's so cheap. You can pick him up, and I'm thinking if he did run a kickback, I mean, he's got the potential to do it. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. It's the only player I'm looking at. Definitely don't spend the money on Tua. He's not doing anything but managing that clock. I do pick the Dolphins for the win, but I don't really think it's going to be too exciting of a game as far as games go.
Try these picks, taking Dolphins +1, Matua, no pick-a-up game manager. Next game, New York Jets versus, yes, I do have a biased opinion when picking against these, I have to admit. Formerly known as the San Diego Chargers, now the LA Chargers. Before we get started, what's with Herbert's hair?
I think he went back to his high school ball.
I think it's part of the reason they're sitting at an ugly 2-7. The Herbert Keenan Allen stack might be a good pickup this week. It's never bad to keep an eye on Keenan Allen, of course. Herbert's sitting at 68 and 85. Allen always upper wide receiver. He's sitting at 74, 8K, always a higher end tier. Now, the Chargers have been a laughing stock of the NFL for a long time, but this week, I'm feeling there's something Anthony Lynn might want to prove, you know? He's going to have to stick it to the Jets this week, you know? He's going to really, in my opinion, just keep sticking it to him, scoring and scoring and scoring, because if you lose to the Jets, that's when the questions start to arise of, is Anthony Lynn a right fit for the job? You get me?
I'm going LA all the way. And I look at it like this, you know, even though they had a really bad season, if you remember back early in the season when they played the Chiefs, they gave them a run. Took them all the way to the last minute to the game. And It showed me that the team has all the right pieces. They're a solid team. It probably need a year or two to develop. They definitely got to work on this quarterback. But I think in a game like this, you know, they really can't lose for management reasons. But I think it's a great opportunity to really pull off stops, because it's not like they're holding something back for the playoffs. So I think they should go out there. They should really beat up on these Jets. I think I'm definitely picking them to win. And, you know, I think this actually might be a pretty exciting game if you're looking for a game that means nothing. Just want to watch some good television. This is actually a good game to watch.
Quick throwaway.
I think that the talent on LA is just superior to the Jets. So I think that you got to go with them. But I wouldn't take any of these players unless you just wanted to make some real wacky lineup and just, you know, assuming like Herbert would go off. But I don't know.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even put that good assumption on Herbert. They're gonna stick probably more to the running game, and if they do, they're gonna obviously try to hit Keenan Allen, and he's way too expensive. He's way too expensive to get out there.
I'm not saying that Herbert isn't gonna go off. They made Keenan Allen expensive because they think they're gonna go to him. So that's why I think if you're gonna make, like I said, a couple extra lineups, and you wanted to put him in for the price, it is possible, because you got to think in your head that why is Keenan Allen so expensive? So if you want to use the psychology that if they made Keenan Allen so expensive, they actually think he's going to get work, well, you don't want to pay that price, but you can get the same value in the quarterback, but then you want to go, hey, this is a rookie quarterback that hasn't really done much. But I said, if you're making a lot of lineups, I would definitely put him in one of those wild lineups.
Yeah, not to backtrack too much, but I would honestly even pick up a Higgins before Keenan Allen this week, guys. So
yes, 100%.
And so, but this is the line. Just real quick though, the line is pretty hefty. We have a 8.5, minus 8.5 though on the Chargers. Do you think they cover that?
Yeah.
That's a big 8.5.
I'll tell you right now, don't bet it. I would, you know, here I try to, you know, try these picks. We work hard to make sure that you're going to win money. This is not what you really want to take. This is not solid.
I wouldn't we wouldn't recommend parlaying this one for sure.
Yeah. I do think they're going to get it, but I don't want you to bet it because I'm not trying to make anyone lose money. I'm trying to give you guys some sound stuff. There's a lot of psychology and a lot of numbers and analytics and everything go into the stuff that we give you. So that's why when we come up with it and say, hey, put this guy in a couple lineups, because we don't want you to pick all the best players and all the best. Because if you do that, you're going to have the same lineup as everybody else. And obviously, those people are all losing. The masses all lose. We're giving you the psychologies on value. We're showing you what players to pick in value situations. So on this one, I wouldn't bet this game. Personally, I think they're going to do it. But, you know, it's a lot of points in the situation.
Damon, you couldn't have put it any better. We're just here to try and give you the best bang for your buck. We're not trying to rip anybody off or anything like that. We're here. We love football just as much as any other fan or bettor does. So we're here to help you guys. And best believe, we're putting our money on these. We're putting our money where our mouth is. So that's right. If we put it out there, we're betting it, and we're winning with you guys. So we got two more here, Dame. We're going to have to go. Let's dig into, what do we got? Green Bay at Indy. Green Bay at Indy. We got Rodgers sitting at a hefty $7K on DraftKings and a $9,000 on FanDuel. We have Jones 72 and 82, Devontae Adams 86 and 95. Yeah, that's pretty expensive. Devontae has a good game, but paying that much for him this week, why do they got him so high in this? Do you think?
They have him so high because realistically, if you look at the team, Aaron doesn't have many targets. That's really his go-to. And I think that they're really thinking that Aaron's going to feed him. Aaron makes a lot happen. He's better than, probably the best, but he makes a lot of happen. A lot of plays that other quarterbacks would have ran dead, he makes happen. And when you have a guy like Adams, a big target like that, it's also very in sync with Aaron. He gets targeted a lot, and there's a lot of chance for that to be the winning guy. But you guys have to really gamble. When you put Adams in your lineup, you are literally spending too much because you are gambling on him. I don't recommend it, but again, if you want to do one lineup and you want to put a bunch of those little guys in it, like we mentioned, and spend money on a big guy, that's how these guys win these lineups, because they have all different lineups. That's when you would put an Adams, because he will get targeted. He will have a good game. He's their number one.
So let's flip it on the other side of the ball. We have, it looks like Hines. Is Hines the go-to on Indy this week? Let me pull up here. It says it's between him and Taylor. He has double the snaps of both Wilkins and Taylor, so he's a pretty good choice. But overall, I think Rodgers is going to outplay Rivers this week. And with that being said, I'm going with Green Bay and give me the -2.5.
I actually think that the Colts could pull this one off as far as the win. I'm thinking the O-line is looking amazing, and I'm thinking they can control the game. They got a veteran quarterback. I don't know.
But that veteran quarterback loves to throw picks, and I'm giving you the best pick over here at TryThesePicks. You really think Rodgers is gonna? You think Rivers is gonna beat Rodgers this week? Because that's where the matchup really is gonna be. Who's gonna be the better quarterback this week? I really see that happening.
I think the better quarterback this week is still gonna be Rodgers, but I think with the pieces, I think if Rivers doesn't throw it away, literally, I actually think that team can pull it through if they manage it well.
So,
it's worth the bet. Like, it's definitely, that would be something I would definitely.
That's a good upset pick. Hey, that is not a bad upset pick, not at all. So we'll go.
You take the points. Rodgers might just be trying to hang in the game. They're going to be game planning to stop him. He's going to make things happen, but they really don't have that many weapons. Rodgers is making these guys better than they are.
He's definitely elevating the people around him. And Rivers is not. Rivers is playing with what he's got.
Well, I look at it like this. Rivers has the experience, and he has the O-line. So I would say Rivers has half a second more than, I'd say, 90% of the other teams. He has there isn't that a crazy pass rush,
and that's something that a lot of people aren't bringing up is that Colts O-line. He does have time to pass.
I think I understand why you're so hard on Rivers. Rivers on 75% of the teams in the NFL is a bust. The man will be set off to retirement. He'd be watching the game, but on that team, the veteran quarterback is key because the line gives them time. And I think they have the best line. And I don't really see a great pass rush coming from Green Bay. It's just not. They're not really doing a great rush this year. So I think with that O-line, the fact they don't have the pass rush, I'm going to give Rivers an extra half a second. Maybe some plays he might even have close to a whole second more. Now, Can the receivers get open? Because the secondary is really good on Green Bay. Can they make it happen? I think that Rivers, if he doesn't throw it away, can get just enough points to pull the game off. And even if he loses, they give him points. So I would take the bet. I'll take it.
So
I would take this bet.
So we locked it in. We got Colts sitting at, give him the plus 2.5. Why not? That's a good upset.
Of course. Listen, you're always taking the points on this one, obviously. You're not going to go outright. Yeah.
And so we got the last matchup for try these picks here. And we have Dallas at Minnesota sitting at a whopping minus 9.5. And we have Dallas at an atrocious 2-7. We haven't heard a lot of Dalvin Cook this year. Minnesota's pulling this one off, right, Damon?
I got Minnesota hands down. It's not even a question. I'm taking Minnesota all the way. Dallas has been playing really, really bad. There's a lot of things going wrong, and I'll tell you, you got to go back 2 seasons, and you take a look at when they were missing one O-lineman, and there was multiple that went out at different games. The team fell apart. Well, now a lot of those O-linemen retired. It's still a good O-line, but it's a totally different O-line. And now you're seeing Zeke fumbling. You're seeing they're not connecting. They're realistically not doing what you expected them to do, because what the Dallas that you guys are all thinking about was this amazing O-line, which just isn't there.
It's falling apart. It is falling apart.
So it's almost like they have to become a whole new team. Now, we spoke about the other team, how big the O-line is. If people really know football, they know it's won in the trenches. And Dallas fell apart in the trenches. So I don't have faith in them at all. I mean, that's it, period. Like they built the team in the trenches. The trenches kept them in it. It made up for a lot of their shortfalls.
And their trench has been filled in, my friend. So
and that's it. And it's over. So
Damon's locking it in. He's got Minnesota at the whopping minus 9.5. I wouldn't. Any players you would grab from this game, Damon?
No, I don't think I would. I think the receivers are a little expensive. I don't think you're gonna get. I don't think you're getting the value from this game. I mean, if you want to go, I mean, you can put a line up and you can maybe go with actually, I wouldn't do it. I was gonna give you the running back Cook. I was gonna say you could put him in, but I'm looking at it here. He's looking a little pricey, and I'm looking at the majority of the lineups I created, and I'm going back that I got Chubb, and there's so many other people I got ahead of him that I just don't even see a lineup where I would put him in. But I mean, again, we are really definitely thinking that they're going to put points up. So you might want to put a lineup with him in, but I'm gonna leave him out of all my lineups this week. But I'll take the win though. I'll take the.
We'll take the win and the points for that, but we'll avoid some players. So quick recap here just to go through the try these picks. Again, we got Buffalo, Chicago, New York, San Fran on a bye this week. We got Philly at Cleveland. We're taking Cleveland with the -2. We got Atlanta at Saints. We're taking Saints with the -7. Bengals at Washington. We're taking Washington. We got Detroit at Carolina. We're taking Carolina with the -2.5. The undefeated Steelers at Jaguars. And we are taking Pittsburgh with the whopping -9.5. We got Tennessee at Baltimore. Upset. We're taking Tennessee with the +6.5. We got New England at Houston, where we're going to see the sleeper try these pick of the week, QB with Cam Newton, hopefully running it up the gut over there with New England. Give us the 2.5. We got Miami at Denver trying to breathe and the mile high, but we know Devontae and Parker might score one over there, and we're going to take Miami. And then we have Jets at Chargers. Jets at Chargers with the whopping -8.5. 8.5 for the Chargers. Damon thinks Anthony Lynn, Herbert with the funny haircut, and Keenan can pull it off over there. So we're taking Chargers. And our last 2 picks over at Try These Picks, we have Green Bay at Colts. Give us Colts with the +2.5 upset. And Dalvin Cook getting most of the work, beating the atrocious Dallas. With Dallas at Minnesota, we're going to take Minnesota with the -9.5. And how does that all sound to you, Damon?
Oh, I think you said it all. I think you covered it perfectly. I think that was an impressive recap. I'm amazed you're not winning from all that. But yeah, I love it. I love the recap. I love how you broke it all down. And hey, I'm looking forward to every week giving you guys all I got, giving you guys all the knowledge that all the research that we've put together. And remember, sometimes people always just want to bet. They always want to force that bet in. They feel like maybe they lost the week before and they gotta bet double down this week, or they feel like they won the week before and they gotta keep it hot. Listen, guys, sometimes taking a few good bets, securing the money, is a lot more valuable than too many bets. Because we don't want you to lose.
We don't want you to lose.
We're here to give you solid locks.
And we're not sitting here saying, yo, take every single one of these bets and parlay them on all. No, that's not what we're saying. Take 2, maybe 3, maybe even just 1. Bet a straight up bet, and you come out, take 1 more, double up. You come out on the end of the weekend, couple grand. Let us know how it went over here at Try These Picks. We do it here exclusively for you guys. We're going all through the week, going through all of our statistics, going through all of our books, going through all of our networks to see and bring you the best picks we can. Is that right, Damon?
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make you guys winners.
That's all we want to do. Winners. Nobody likes a loser.
Let's go.
Let's go. And on that note, we will see you all next week on Try These Picks. Thank you so much. Damon?
Have a great night.